There's nothing worse than.
Yeah, no, I know. Right, we are now live on YouTube.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Weymouth Town Council Planning and Licensing. And it's nice to see members of the public here. Thank you very much. We'll get straight on to it with item 1, which is apologies for absence. And we have one apology for absence, it's Councillor Young. So therefore I ask that we receive that apology. So I'll propose it. Councillor Dickens will second it. All those in favour of accepting that? That's unanimous. Are there any declarations of interest regarding the agenda tonight? Councillor Clifford.
Just to check, Chair. So I can't see the Waterside Park from my house, but my house is shown on the diagrams that with the viewing points on it. I assume there's no conflict of whatsoever, but I just raise the fact that it appears.
Yes. No, must have good eyesight. Should any member come across any items that he or she feels that might come and just shout up at the time. We can now go on to item 3, which is the minutes of the last meeting. To approve the minutes of the last meeting held on the 9th of September 2025 as a true and accurate record. Has any members got any questions on the minutes? So I'll propose. Councillor Dickens will second. All those in favour? Any abstentions? One abstention. We can now move on to item 4, which is public participation. And tonight we have several residents who wish to speak about 21 acres. And so I'll invite Sandra Bird up first. If you'd like to come up. Oh, you know, no, you can sit there. It's entirely up to you, Sandra. Please.
I've got Sam, so
Yeah.
first of all, to say thank you for bringing this one back on the agenda, first of all. There were a couple of things. Obviously, the applicant has put in appeal last time because it was turned down. Can you do this again on this application? If it is also supported, is there anything that we can do as local residents?
On the appeal side,
If it's
no, if he appeals, it goes to the inspector.
Planning Inspectorate.
Yeah, planning inspectorate.
But would it go back this time if it wasn't supported or not?
It's only if it's supported by Dorset Council. Yeah, we are only an advisory group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, obviously the plans keep going or keep getting changes to it from things that we pick up.
Yeah. Some
Some of the changes have happened and some haven't. One of the concerns I have is an email that Rob Piggott sent and said about a porch. Well, that hasn't appeared on the updated plans.
It's not on there, is it? No. No.
So I wanted to raise that, and I know that I've raised it.
Yeah,
And I think that was the 3 things we had.
Yeah.
So thank you.
thank you.
Oh, sorry.
We come now to Mr. Turner, John.
I thought there might be on the same of beds. Reference to the Secretary of State's dismissal, if we can say about that here.
Yeah.
It was on item 12. I've got them glasses. It's in particular, the proposed extension would project out an existing raised platform that leads from the garage to the kitchen. There was at the time to be used as a dining room, and the aspect would allow a greater degree of overlooking over the rear patio area of number 19. As a result, an unacceptable level of overlooking, loss of privacy to number 19, i.e. don't want it.
Yeah.
But that has suddenly changed to being some sort of platform with a glass screen. In my opinion, that would be far worse for overlooking 19 than the building with a window in it would be. And it's all, you know, it's been dismissed before.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and one other little bit, sorry, the south facing windows the sill being lowered. On the drawings, there's no dimensions, sizes of anything anywhere except for the 3 metre extension bit. None of the others have got any dimensions at all. So how do we know it's not right down to the floor? So we can still step out onto the extension.
Yeah. Then we have Mr. Goodman.
Well,
Hello, Mark.
I live at number 19.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
about the loss of privacy. It is a great loss of privacy because he is going to be towering over us. He originally started from a walkway. There's a small walkway there. Then he was going to extend that to a balcony, which was randomly turned down. And now he's worded it as not a balcony, but a patio, a raised patio at the second floor, like John said, with the screen. But our main worry is, apart from even with the screen there, it's still from the front. I mean, we will be sat here and he will be sat on the first floor there and he will have vision of absolutely every part of our garden. And our second worry would be that if he does get to construct that, what's to stop him putting some sort of conservatory on top of that? Then he's achieved his sunroom, which he was trying to achieve on the very first set. That's what got thrown out. And it's just the ambiguity of the drawings and misleading of the drawings. And I do believe that's a deliberate plan. And a last minute, day before, while we were out of comment, more plans come out. So presumably all our previous objections don't count for the new plans, so we have to get some more in. So
Yeah.
it's a deliberate sort of misleading
Well,
going on.
you might say we couldn't possibly comment on that.
No,
No,
but
but
I'm not saying there's anything underwater.
Yeah.
I know, I'm not certain, I'm not saying you ought to.
yeah,
And out the front, I mean, he's gonna put a big dormer.
Yeah.
Which is which is plan, and it's a very low pitched roof. So to get that dormer, it's gonna be, it's gonna be such a big, in front of his house, because we got, from the road, it looks like it's a nice little 1 story there, and it goes into a slope, and you've got 3 stories.
Yeah.
At the back, and he wants to put another one there, which will basically turn the front into a big square box. Which is certainly not in keeping with anything that's going on around that area at the moment.
yeah, well,
There's only 2 like little bungalows in there.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the quirky sort of thing, and they were deliberately designed for privacy. And it's quite well done for privacy, really, you don't see how anyone really do it. But once he's got this big sort of viewing platform, and his maybe
Yeah.
sneaky viewing platform out front, I mean, he's gonna see
Yeah.
so many of us, all of us surrounding him will have no privacy at all.
Mm.
The end garden has got big bushes, but he literally grew those bushes to keep his privacy.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's pretty much it, really,
Yeah.
except for what Sandy said.
Yeah.
So it's a big concern for us. I mean, we retired here a couple of years ago. Some of it was part of the ordinary but which has affected her. I'm not gonna labour on that point, but there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting quite overlooked and it keeps coming back every time I think, well, that's something that's turned down, it's like resoundingly turned down,
Yeah.
it's smashed out of the park, and then all of a sudden you think, that's the same plans, but with different words on them.
Yeah.
So this is our worry, look, he's changing
So-
things. that-
if I could just bring the committee up to speed. We accepted these plans because it was advertised as a patio area.
Yeah.
The plans weren't correct, which Mr. Bird brought to my attention. So I got in touch with Paul, is it Paul? Rob Piggott, the planning officer. And he said, I'll look into it, and he was very good. So he immediately ordered them to, you've got to put proper plans in, these aren't proper plans. So they've come back with these plans, but in reality, there isn't a lot of difference. I've been round to have a look at the property. It's boarded up at the moment. So we had to get that boarded up by Dorset Council. So they've come back with yet another group of plans that the reasons before have not changed for why the inspector had kicked them out, in my opinion. So we put it back on the agenda, and I'd like to propose that we oppose and disagree with this in light of the new plans on the ground of design. It's a poor design, whereas the current house is designed so that they can't look into each other. So he's changing the design, so I'd like that, and also the overlooking. And design, visual appearance and the overlooking. And also, yeah, I wish we could say, and also for the sneakiness, but we can't, we're not allowed to say that, and I take that back. But those are the two main reasons in the material planning that I would like to propose that we now object to this plan. And also, the other one is about previous
Planning decisions.
decisions, previous planning decisions and appeals. These plans have all been thrown out. So that's what I would like to propose.
I'll second.
Second, would any other members like to talk on it?
I'll just check, Chair. So we were doing is there any other public participation, or have you brought this one forward?
This is the public, yeah,
Now, I remember when we had this first time round,
yeah,
the only issue is we have a slight inconsistency where we have residents overlooking, and sometimes we support them, sometimes we don't. This one was very clear at that first iteration that nobody in the committee supports it, nobody in the committee supports it now, I'm guessing. And I'm quite happy to support a motion that says, I can see what it's trying to do, they're trying to make the most of the views. But you can't mean overlooking, your enjoyment can't impact on others. He needs to find a way, if he wants to do this, of enjoying the views without having any overlooking. And it's not impossible to come up with ways of doing that. This isn't it.
no. Would anybody else? No. So we can go to the vote then on the proposal that I've said. And Steve's seconded. All those in favour? And that's unanimous. Thank you very much, committee. And I will drop a letter of thanks to Rob Piggott, because he's been very good in coming up and saying, no, it's not right.
We're not anti in doing some nice reserves, but some sort of ground is just ridiculous. Yeah.
You can stay for the rest of the meeting. We have an interesting discussion on the local plan and the local transport plan. So if you go online, please put your comments in, because it's really, really important that we all put our comments in before the 13th of October. And it's really important you put your comments in to the local plan and the local transport plan. I thought I'd get that one in for you. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll just wait.
Transport, can you give us the first bus to change the Monday to Friday round one way from 8:27, 9:27 to 9:32?
Put it in the thing.
Use the bus pass then.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye.
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 Yeah, no one there. That's it.
We now move on to item 5, which is planning applications for discussion.
So we've done the 7 acres
This
one.
Yeah,
So we're now on to the planning applications received shortly before legal dispatch.
yeah, which is Lennox Street, Elwell Street, Dennis Road, Portland Road and Rodwell House. Councillor Arell.
I'd declare a conflict of interest on the Rodwell House Hotel because that's owned by the Lantern Trust, of which I am a trustee.
Yeah.
So I will not say anymore.
Right. But it would be interesting if you could tell us what they're hoping to achieve as a trustee. What are they hoping to achieve with the plans for Rodwell House Hotel? Is it to be a place where people can be put up who are in housing needs?
Yeah, it is. It already is. It's just improving it.
Yeah.
It was run by a housing association as a hostel. Lantern got it and they're trying to upgrade it.
Yeah.
Up to the modern standards,
Yeah.
so that it's just improving the property. So it's getting homeless people off the street
Streets, yeah.
and getting them housed securely
Yeah.
and supported.
So I just thought the other committee members might like to know that. It's an excellent thing that they're doing.
I think it's 6 or 7. It's quite a big property. 6 or 7.
So it's a very
It's a big house.
useful piece of kit that.
It is.
Yeah.
Would anybody else like to talk about any of the other properties? So if everybody's in agreement, we'll send our standard, move this properties into item 6, which is planning applications for no objection. I'll propose it, seconded by councillor Taylor. All those in favour? That is unanimous.
No, it's not, it's one abstention.
Oh, yes, sorry, John. So that's one abstention. Yeah, and now we come to item 6, which is planning applications with no comment. Are there any in there that any members would like to talk about? Councillor Clifford.
So if no one else has got anything, Waterside Holiday Park. So this is one where I wouldn't be comfortable as having no view on it. It's very clear there's an element of contention about it. There are two different interpretations from architects on whether it's suitable or not. The landscape architect basically says it will be a bit of blot on the landscape and there's not much you can do about it, but and I've looked at it, and I think that landscape architect is right. It's quite why they want to put a solar array on a east-west facing field on the effectively in full view on the Dorset coastal line with the footpaths and everything overlooking it is beyond me. So from the visual impact of it on the local environment, I'm totally against that anyway. But I'm very happy for others to tell me why I'm wrong.
Anybody else like to comment on it? Councillor O'Rourke?
I suppose from my perspective, I'm fairly in favour of solar arrays in general and specifically. So that's in terms of hitting our climate objectives. So that's the kind of contrary view, I suppose.
And my starting point is, so am I.
Yes,
But in the right place. And I don't think 100 metres off the coastline is the right place for them.
Oh, Chair, may I come in?
You certainly may, councillor.
The Weymouth neighbourhood plan has now been examined, and so it does carry some weight. So it might be worth putting the map up to say where this area is, and I'll tell you whether it's in a coastal protection area, which is part of what the neighbourhood plan recommends. But without a map, I can't tell.
It's quite, to be honest, it was quite hard to find out where it is anyway.
Confined.
There should be a site plan in these. Yeah.
Anyone see the site plan? Shout. No, it's not the site plan.
Location, plan and elevation, there you are, in the
Oh,
middle
there's-
of the screen.
Let's go with this one then.
Okay.
So the one that shows it is the landscape architect's report at the end. Keep going, there you go, senior landscape architect. And in that report, there's a photograph with a red line in on
Teeny tiny.
Keep going down. Keep going. I think it's in this report. Keep going. There you go. So you can see that this is what I don't like about the prominence of it and then.
Quite a lot, isn't it? Stand out on one.
Did you say it's north facing?
East-west.
West facing.
It's east-west, it's gonna be V-shaped.
Yeah.
Inverted V, so we'll get the sun morning and afternoon.
So, anybody else like to comment?
So it's not clear to me from that plan whether it's inside the protected area or not. I'm just gonna get the protected area up on my screen.
It's gonna be
Um,
sorry, you carry
no,
on.
you keep going.
I was just gonna say, it's gonna be a bit of an eyesore being high up, isn't it? I didn't realise it was that.
I'm prepared to propose that we don't support this plan due to the visual impact it'll have on the area of outstanding natural beauty and Dorset coastline, proximity to Dorset coastline.
Hang on, slow down, slow down.
Propose we do not support the application.
Due to visual impact.
Yeah.
Proximity to the Jurassic coastline.
Impact on countryside?
Hang on.
I'm in the countryside.
Well, that's a
Proximity
material.
to Jurassic coast. What did you say about the Jurassic coastline? Proximity to?
Proximity to the coastline.
Would add World Heritage Site as well.
That's impact on countryside.
Okay.
So we've got conservation areas in that proposal, we've got impact on countryside.
What we've got is proposed you do not support the application due to its visual impact and proximity to the coastline stroke World Heritage Site and its impact on the countryside.
Countryside and views.
Views is
It's not a material.
not a material reason. So,
Sorry, and again, in the neighbourhood plan, there's a clause about protecting views. But it's not a very strong clause, so the better clause is the one that I'm trying to just or slow you down. I wasn't expecting this.
so do we have to put this back into item 5 first and then vote on it, or can we just vote on it? And you'll just send up the objections with it? Yeah,
I can add this discussion into item 5.
Yeah.
Because we have discussed it, so.
So I think it falls within the Redcliffe access area. Can I just point this out to Simon? Sorry, councillor Clifford, because if he knows the extent of the map, we'll have to come and look up my show.
Well, if we just put a caveat in there, and we also believe it's within the
Redcliffe coastal access area identified in the Weymouth neighbourhood plan.
You also believe it's within the Redcliffe
Coastal
coastal.
access area policy W 08.
W
08.
Wales neighbourhood.
They can check it then, you're right.
has anybody else got anything that they wish to say? Right, well, we have a proposal from councillor Clifford, seconded by councillor Dickens. Anybody else? No? All those in favour of the motion? Those against? 2 against. Great.
Okay.
Are there any other items in item 6?
Just gonna close them down.
I mean, we've got Staverdale House in there, which is another good thing coming forward. No. So then I'll propose that the rest are sent with our normal response. I seconded from councillor Clifford. All those in favour? Thank you. We can now move on to item 7, which there is nothing. Item 8, planning applications under delegated powers. It's mostly about trees.
They're all trees.
Trees, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are information items only. Is any member got anything they would like to say about any of the trees that are in or being reduced back limbs growing over? No. We can now move on to item 9, which is licence enforcement, appeals and phone masts. And we have a new application from, would you call that Global?
Globals.
Yeah, Globals.
Mhm.
And I hope that we've all had a look through it. Would anybody like to say anything? Councillor Rowan?
The stage when I looked at the application, I couldn't see any comments from the conservation officer.
No.
It's in the conservation zone. I remember a few years ago, the conservation officers were working towards a policy where they were trying to harmonise the signage in the town centre, so it wasn't luminous
Yeah,
and glowing. They were going for hand painted. So my proposal was just to support, but subject to the report of the conservation officer.
But this relates to licensing,
So, okay.
so alcohol licence. It's not a,
That's a planning.
So planning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can go then.
the, I've looked through it. I was just hoping that they might do a children's one on, say, a Saturday morning where the kids could go in. But it all seems about alcohol being sold, and but hopefully it's a new venture that I feel we should support.
So,
Councillor Clifford.
so having used this kind of place before in other towns, they do appeal to all sorts. They
Yeah.
have family, encourage families to come in. I believe this is sort of the adult end of their licence, but the actual project when it gets underway is a really exciting one for Weymouth. That it's a bringing redundant building back into use and bring people into the town. It's exactly what Weymouth is crying out for. And I'm an enthusiastic supporter of it.
Yeah.
But I think this just part of the application is just about they're ticking the boxes in order to get the adult side to it.
Having said that, I'll shift to being fully supportive.
Yeah.
It is useful to have extra facilities in the town, particularly as we've lost the cinema and the bowling alley.
Yeah.
So if this provides another something to do with a wet day,
Yeah.
that's fine, because golf courses always have a 19th hole, and this one deserves.
Yes.
It's the same with Sticks and Bones in Hope Square.
Yeah.
It's something different that, you know, they can take in the wet.
And massively important is not letting another building lie rotting in the
Yeah.
middle of town, keeping our
Yeah.
town alive.
So we fully support this.
but we do need to quote them, at least one of the licensing objectives, so we need to look at what they're saying about how they're gonna meet those licensing objectives. So let me just go.
No, they've got the CCTV, they're gonna put signs up, they're gonna be training their staff
Yeah, I'm just,
in all the,
they've changed the application form, so
yeah, it's
here we
massive. isn't
go.
it? Yeah,
Yeah. That's what they're saying.
to prevent crime just being there and taking people off the streets, and so they've got something to do is always a good one for me, but.
It talks here about CCTV
Today, yeah,
operational 24 hours
I
a
was,
day.
yeah. They put the usual signs up, please be quiet when you're leaving.
I mean,
Yeah, the challenge 25 age verification.
yeah, the committee may wish to say, you know, whether you agree that you're confident that they meet all 4 licensing objectives.
And of course, we can always review it. If John gets complaints or we get complaints, we can always review and put in for a review on the licensing, but
It's a bit difficult to say anything about the
Yeah.
grounds for complaint when it isn't open yet.
yeah, it hasn't got no history, has it?
There's no history
Yeah.
to complain about.
So, but I think as a committee, we're all fully supportive, and we will wait and see, sort of like in 6 months, 12 months' time, when it's up and running. It's very difficult to say, but I think they're gonna meet all the main, one in Dorset Council. But, yeah,
So yeah, confident that they'll meet all four
Yeah,
licensing
yeah.
objectives?
Yeah.
Okay, gonna need a proposer in a second.
Well, I'll propose it, seconded by councillor Clifford.
And a vote, please.
Vote. That's unanimous.
Thank you very much.
We now come to sitting out. Have none. We now come to perhaps the main event, the local plan consultation. This is where the town clerk put out an email to us all asking for our thoughts on the local plan. And we got 2 in. So we got 2 responses in. And so to try and galvanise those 2 thoughts, the town clerk's come up with, and I hope we've all had a chance to look through it. But I'm going to try, hopefully go through each one on it to see whether or not we agree that this is what for Weymouth Town Council.
Okay, would you mind if we started with the main consultation
Yeah,
document,
Yeah.
and then after that we'll go to councillor Northam and the individual sites, is that okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The main consultation ranges over a number of pages and ranges, is more about prospect, policy ideas, policy options. So I suggest scanning and nodding or not.
so there's the first one. Question 1, do you have any comments?
Could I also point out that it's been circulated to people, reminders have gone out to people. So if people have nothing to say, that's the case, you have your chance.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to find the officer recommendation. Yeah, so the recommendation is that the Planning and Licensing Committee agree Appendix B, which is this one, and Appendix C, which will be councillor Northam's summary of individual sites as a response to be sent to Dorset Council as the Weymouth Town Council response to the consultation on the draft local plan. However, should members wish to, we can amend and take a vote on any amendments. So just tell me when you'd like me to move on.
So question 1. Does everybody agree with that? We have perfect nature in Weymouth.
The vision is about what future development will bring to the area. It's much more wide, but it references support to the local nature recovery strategy, which is great if you're going to mention within it.
Right, is there any big objections to the answer for question 1? No.
Section 2.
Sorry?
Section 2, section 1's all
Yeah,
about
yeah,
our details.
yeah, and then we come to 2.2.
The strategic priorities are principally those that were agreed by Dorset Council as its priorities for its tenure. What's been added is some specific detail.
I don't think there's anything in that to me.
No.
No, question 3?
Okay, I'm just going down through and just ticking these.
Yeah.
Is it worthwhile just doing a summary?
Sorry?
Would you like to give you a summary? Or were you happy people read it?
Reading it.
Okay.
One here, which David, you might want to put your hands over your wrist. So, got the neighbourhood plan. Everywhere, obviously got neighbourhood plans, and you've got the local plan. There is a neighbourhood plan for Sutton Points, which basically says you can't build anything. And I think that's ridiculous, because there are clearly some places you can build. I mean, there's one road that's built on one side and half built on the other. Why can't you fill in the gap? So there are elements looking at where neighbourhood plans are weak or have been too constrained, alongside we're talking about constraints here, that we could revisit the sub points.
Extensions, aren't you?
No, I'm talking about new builds. So there are certainly some areas in Sutton Points that you could look at again. We've got new demands from government to look at housing allocations. So just because we've got Sutton Points neighbourhood plan in place, I think we ought to revisit some of them sympathetically, but say, are there some opportunities within there?
You've got, there's got to be the reviews.
The Weymouth neighbourhood plan subsumes and replaces the Sutton Point neighbourhood plan. So when the Weymouth neighbourhood plan, should the Weymouth neighbourhood plan pass successfully through a referendum, the Sutton Point neighbourhood plan will no longer exist. And the Weymouth neighbourhood plan basically says, don't build outside of the settlement boundaries unless you're building as exceptional sites for affordable homes, which is also what's in the local plan, irrespective of what it says in the neighbourhood plan. So when the local plan comes into place, if it decides to build something that conflicts with an existing neighbourhood plan, it takes precedent because it sets strategic planning priorities. So you don't need to refer to it because it will effectively trump it if it's making a significant change.
That's right. The other one in there about green belt, there's very, very little green belt around where it's mostly in the east of Dorset.
So section 9 deals with green belt specifically.
So is there anything in question 3 for anybody?
3.2, yeah.
Question 4.
It's,
Hang on, we've got some more here.
oh, I see, sorry, I'm reading out the paragraph numbers.
Yeah,
you're reading.
yeah, we've got
Sorry.
some more info here.
Question 4, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a that missing.
Hmm?
The fact that much of the employment.
Okay.
I'll get this out.
I'll tell the town plan.
That's the last favour Nicky's doing for you. So I don't know what the things with BCP are doing well or doing bad, but
But the point that's being made is that a lot of the infrastructure for this area is actually provided by BCP.
yeah.
So if we don't have to create new employment opportunities because they already exist over the border.
The same with the Yeovil side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we come to question 5.
The point is it doesn't mention it in the area description, and I think it should. We're in the central area. Weymouth is in the centre of Dorset, just in case you haven't realised.
Yeah. And the Dorset Energy Supercluster.
Yeah.
Can't see anything in there. Anybody, please speak up if you see something.
So the description again of the area doesn't mention the defence and manufacturing. That's why it's highlighted.
We come to question 6.
It's the northern area.
Yeah, this is the northern end. I don't know.
Guessing Sturminster, Sherborne,
Oh, yeah.
kind of area.
Sherborne's bizarrely in West Dorset.
Yeah.
I think.
Then we come down to question 7. Do you have any comments on the proposed strategy of the western area? Well, I don't know the western area, so I don't feel I could give a proper.
So the view offered here is that it is the most rural and isolated in the areas, and therefore from a housing burden point of view, it should probably attract the least.
Yeah, it's fair.
So that was fairly fair. It's very countrified over that side of.
Not 0, but the least.
I think just on western area, if we're going to mention BCP and its impact on the southeastern area, we ought to mention that Yeovil and Somerset have an impact on Sherborne. There's a huge truck to work area.
Do you want that put in there?
Yeah, but don't do it now, just.
So 3.6,
It's mentioned Sherborne, Yeovil proximity and the infrastructure sharing that we did in the previous one.
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Okay.
Question 8. Is there any important infrastructure that needs to be delivered alongside new homes?
So I've got some soft infrastructure that's absolutely essential for Wayne from Dorchester, and that's we've got to get a bloody phone signal and Wi-Fi that actually works.
Yeah, would help.
Better, what do they call it, connectivity
Yes,
with
bit of
regards to,
connectivity. You can't be walking around a major town like Dorchester and finding that you've got
No,
zero.
no signal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And really obscure places like Places Lane, and
Yeah.
Church Lane, in Church Street.
so the infrastructure that we would like to see is better connectivity through broadband.
Phone signal, broadband, Wi-Fi,
Right,
full range.
Yeah.
Give people a chance, especially when so many people are working from home.
whether you get a second track,
And if you're gonna build more houses, you've got to have even more connectivity, because
Exactly.
But you might care to add something specific like the Weymouth swimming pool replacement,
yeah,
which will probably be funded out of self. You're the committee, I'm just speaking.
yeah, no, you,
Maybe we need a line to say Weymouth has a unique economy in that it's so much tourism based alongside some of the significant manufacturing. And so it requires, we've already been talking about what you can do on a rainy day and when we can bring the town centre, so it requires a bigger investment in leisure in order to satisfy tourist demand.
happy with that?
That's bigger
Yeah,
investment.
and speak up if you disagree, obviously, guys.
Including swimming pool replacement.
Hang on,
On the centre of my book,
Yeah,
two needs,
it's a big ticket item.
tourist element.
Yeah.
Do you want to put in about swimming pool,
such as
such as?
swimming pools.
Yeah.
Seawater and indoor.
Seawater.
of course, the other thing that's mentioned on this is road and rail connections.
Yeah, absolutely.
If we're gonna have a load more houses, we have to do something about the roads.
Well, that's where the local transport.
Well,
plan
yes, I
comes in.
appreciate
Yeah.
that, but it's mentioned in this section as well.
You still have time to comment on the transport plan, but at the moment, nobody has.
And
Weymouth Town Council.
Yes.
And further electric vehicle point charging and charging points.
Certainly to boost up that rail connection, because it's looking at the old timetables, it takes the same time to get to London now as it did 100 years ago. It's looking.
It is mentioned in the transport plan, but you might want to place greater emphasis on what is mentioned.
Right, we'll now move on to housing delivery strategy.
So there's quite a lot about the housing delivery strategy. And what it asks is, are there any other measures that could help?
So this is basically trying to remove land banking.
That's the purpose of these comments, yes. The second comment.
1.4 million houses, isn't it, land bank?
So you propose that if an area has been given permission and isn't developed in 5 years, it passes to the local council
Yeah. Totally agree.
entirely.
Yeah, well, those three options there, particularly like the last one, actually. If the land bank value goes up, we can have some of it.
Yeah.
It's not a new idea, it's been around for a long
Yeah.
time.
Because all the rules are in favour of big speculators, and you need to tip it back in favour of people.
Yeah.
Another idea would be trying to get more of what they did in Bridport with the Hazelmead development, which is a community land trust.
Yes,
Where they built a really good insulated homes, which are really cheap to live in and low rent. So we can see the replication of the community land trust model.
You could say more effective support to community land trusts, because there is support to community land trusts, but there's not the money to really make anything happen.
Or support, giving them chunks of public land.
You mean like bits of Dorset Council homes?
Absolutely, and other public bodies like the NHS. So
that would be
actually,
popular, wouldn't it?
It has been suggested
Yeah,
what should we suggest?
previously.
Should we suggest it? Because that would be a practical means of, because just, otherwise, we're just trying to flog the existing system, which we've proved for 30 years does not deliver housing. It just delivers profits for big companies, but it doesn't house our young families, so we've got to change the system.
So that Nikki can get it written down, so she can read it back to us, that we
More
follow the.
support for community land trusts,
Sorry, more support,
or community land trusts. Like the Hazelmead development. In particular,
like Hazelmead.
Hazelmead development in Bridport.
involving grants of public land.
Runs the public land.
it's quite interesting
Yes,
what they've managed to achieve.
it's brilliant.
Yeah, but that's the sort of thing we're gonna have to turn to.
Yeah,
Yeah, more support for the community land trusts like Hazelmead Bridport, in particular grants of public land.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Because as you said, business aren't going to do it for nothing.
no, they want to,
We'd either have to pay
Right, we come to
Per
question
house.
10.
to do it.
To what extent do you agree or disagree with the plan, including a lower housing target?
So we've put an agree in there.
We put an agree at the moment.
It's just realistic and pragmatic, isn't it?
Yeah. So we go on to question 11. Where should a policy allowing sites for only affordable home supply? And we've ticked all of Dorset. Yeah. Come on to section 5. We have suggested that the local plan will not include clear boundaries to define the edges of towns. Instead, they're flexible. Although Weymouth Town Council feels neutral about this point, we would particularly agree if the
Partially agree.
neighbourhood plan constraint is observed, provided infilling in larger settlements is not.
So this is one of the major shifts in the policy. What it says is do away with settlement boundaries. Previously it said you can't build except inside the settlement boundaries. You build outside the settlement boundary, it's treated like an exception to the planning and you have to make a special case, which includes provision of affordable. But that's not delivering the service supply, so doing away with that and put a flexible settlement policy, which says if you're planning to build on the edge of settlement, it'll be allowed so long as it's limited to up to 30 homes. That's the basic premise of the flexible settlement policy. It works quite well on small villages and small towns. Well, in Weymouth, when we've got 2 green lungs in the centre, it could potentially fill in those green lungs. Because what is the edge of settlement? If it's on the exterior boundary, it's quite a good policy. So I'm positive about it. Because I think it will stop Weymouth receiving the lion's share of it'll still receive the lion's share of the load, but it will spread the load more equally across the whole county. Sorry, the whole of Dorset Unitary.
So do we agree with the answer we've put in, although Weymouth Town Council feels neutral about this point? We would particularly agree if the NP constraint is observed, that's the neighbourhood plan, I take it.
Right, so-
Provided infilling in larger settlements is not enabled by this. So are we happy with that? Right, we can now move on to question 13. We propose that flexible sums will include a limit of 30 homes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number of sites each settlement, the town should want it.
I say it, stop it, but
Constraining this would be difficult to manage.
well, it would be.
Mhm.
In the villages, it's not difficult, but in
No.
the big towns, yeah, you're basically saying when one developer gets his foot in the door, everybody else has to wait.
Yeah.
It's not very well thought out. in my opinion.
Question 15.
So the premise is that only those tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 settlements have this policy applied to them. There are many parts of Dorset, which are small villages, that are outside of tier 3, they're just not given a tier.
Yeah.
And to my mind, they should take a proportionate number of affordable homes, sorry, of homes of any description.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
So no objections to that answer. Question 16. Yeah,
You only have to look at the urban sprawl of Weymouth and Chickerell, for
Yeah.
instance, to show this is what you end up with if there's no control.
so we happy with the answer to question 16?
Yeah.
Yep. Green belt.
I've got a map of the green belt if anybody's interested, and it's basically the bits that are around the edge of Bournemouth, Barchester, all slightly into Dorset around that area. But nothing anywhere else.
Yeah.
By the way, there are 53 questions or 45 questions. I can't remember.
Mhm.
Yeah. Question 18. Anybody?
Something.
Yeah. Where have you got to go?
So what the policies suggest is that if you have a neighbourhood plan that allocates housing, then they won't do away with the defined development boundary, the settlement boundary for 5 years. So it provides a relief whilst they give the sites which are proposed an opportunity to come forward.
Anything on that, guys? No?
And potentially prevents other sites coming forward until that.
There's not.
Because of the, most of the employment sites in Weymouth are actually mixed development sites, housing and employment, or housing, employment and leisure. There aren't any sites being identified in Weymouth for employment. It does identify the existing key employment site at Littlemore and at Nursery Road. But it doesn't offer any new sites.
I think when we look to the future and we look at the green energy opportunities that are coming, it seems odd
Yes.
that we haven't allocated any land or any uses for that.
So the basic premise for sites being put forward is landowners put sites forward.
Yeah.
They will make far more money out of building houses
Yeah,
than
of course.
providing employment.
You can't keep building houses with no employment, though.
No,
Just mixed use development. Yep. Bit employment use one on that one. 23. No, keep going. Town centre, John?
So the town centre development refers you out to the Weymouth regeneration plan, which says we'll be doing things in the future.
Yep.
Doesn't give any specifics at this stage. You might want to tick later instead of us.
Yeah, so what if it's later?
Okay, so. See,
Yeah.
Yeah, leisure.
And I wouldn't have ticked shops personally, which is why the comment is in there.
Keep going.
You're gonna leave shops ticked, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
two.
These were on the plan should ensure.
So at the moment, there's no constraint on adding yet another fast food place on an existing out of town retail. Because currently you're allowed, you can't stop businesses competing with each other.
Sorry, is that not? Is that not 4 supermarkets? Sainsbury's, Morrison's, Aldi, Lidl. And then an M&S.
The rest is in the supermarket.
Yeah, but I think 4 is a good number, not 5. Change it to 4 then.
Change to 4 supermarkets.
And an M&S to come, there you go.
Is Morrison's actual Mount Pleasant business plan?
What's it just?
Is it not?
Possibly it predates,
Yeah,
but it's in the same location.
Yeah.
plenty of them.
Yeah,
More than enough, definitely.
people drive from one to the other.
Yeah, I agree with the next one.
And question 28.
Good job. The brownfield land, have you got any in Weymouth?
Yes, somewhat,
Yeah.
if you count car parks,
Yeah.
but we've got plenty.
The old gas
Yeah.
site, gas cylinder.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely, that needs something doing with it.
Yeah. So the problem is not an availability of brownfield land, it's getting developers to do anything with it, is the problem. Which is why the suggestion there is to work with MHCLG. It used to provide brownfield site development funding, it's stopped at the moment.
Yeah, that's what happened with Binkley's, wasn't it? They cleared it all, got rid of all the asbestos.
Are we happy with that one?
Yeah. Don't bring up. I mean, again, that doesn't really affect Weymouth Town Council, no. So you can,
But remember, this is an all of Dorset.
yes, yeah, I
plan.
appreciate that.
If you don't build somewhere else, it'll all end up in Weymouth.
Yeah.
Which is what it normally does.
So I hope to put a might in there.
This is your chance.
This is, yeah, it's another one I keep on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a policy in favour of allowing safe build and some support, but it needs to go one stage further. The same idea of actually providing the land, because this is a way of letting local people build their own homes and live in them.
Have you seen anywhere where it's been successful, John?
Yeah, there's some really good ones in West Wales. Yes.
So we did discuss this with some developers.
Yeah.
Who said that it was too difficult to manage alongside something else, so unless it's a dedicated site, which some local authorities provide.
Exactly, that's what we need. The developers will always say that because they want to make profits.
Yeah.
This is a way of no one makes a profit out of this, it just lets local people build their own homes.
So,
And they can do it out of all sorts of interesting materials,
so
it's the straw bales, wooden homes, round earth in tyres, all sorts of ways that people can build their own homes and they're really cheap.
So the second box sort of says that almost.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
John?
wrong way, going the wrong way.
Keep going.
At the moment, when a neighbourhood plan sets up, they say you need to target this number of homes being built, and if you don't, the council is not supporting the local plan. But they're not in a position at this stage to do that, so they're asking. Sorry, can we go back to the question?
Yep.
Do we? So they're asking that it be finalised at the next stage of preparing the local plan. So that means that you won't get a public consultation on it, it'll just be a consultation and your comments get taken to the examination or the planning, the next level of planning.
So I'm happy with your description that certain points get superseded by an approved Weymouth plan. So we see some settlement. Rather than
So where there are local green spaces identified in the neighbourhood plan, they have an equivalent protection to greenbelt. And the local authority is unlikely to try and supersede those. We have 49 of those across Weymouth, so it's one of the big strengths of the Weymouth neighbourhood plan.
Yeah.
That is very unlikely to be superseded.
Okay, happy with that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
keep going.
Just to keep going.
Yeah, keep going. I've not had, have you had much to do with gypsy sites and that, John, at all?
Some, yes, one of the proposed ones is very, very close to my house.
Yeah.
So, which I'm not going to object to.
Mm.
Because they need to go somewhere. My comment, which I put in as a personal comment, which I'll share, is that it would be helpful if all the sites were approved, all of them, that way. They could rotate around the county and everyone would take a fair share. The danger at the moment is that places have been really vocal for us. People will block sites and then places that are a bit more helpful and amenable to disadvantaged people will end up with the sites. And that way it ends up being unfair on obliging areas. So my hope would be that all the sites are approved and that way the whole county has the opportunity of supporting these people.
I mean, is the site accessible? That's another thing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
The new site, John's obviously much nearer to it, the old site, which was the West Buckland Farms site, which is towards Nottington end of that road, was on the bend, it was a sloping ground, it wasn't very suitable,
No.
and that's the reason in the 2021 consultation why Weymouth Town Council objected to it. This is in proximity to Weymouth, which is important, but doesn't have the same impact. It's also a smaller site, I believe.
No, I'm sure you could people who are directly affected, or it has a significant impact.
No, I agree.
Who's very well known.
Yeah.
It's the plan in Chickery.
Of course, Chickery, yes.
Yeah, well, every area will object, that's the
Of
thing.
course they will.
Yeah, and so I'll expect that to happen. So my comment would be that let every area object, but let everyone pass that way, every town shares.
So I think that's worth putting in, that
I think
every part of the area should bear some of the pain load, or should provide responsibility. You
So every part of
Dorset
Dorset should
should
bear
take some responsibility
And to be fair, we did, that site was an unofficial site. There was a lovely couple who you may have seen in the town centre, used to play on an accordion by Marks and Spencer's. Really lovely guy. But they were the last Romany family. They went around in a horse-drawn carriage, absolute traditional.
Yeah.
They left the site. It was cleaner than when they arrived.
Yeah.
They had
Because he
zero.
also did everything.
They were incredible.
Yeah.
Zero carbon because they just burnt little bits of wood and they rode a bike and drawn by a horse. So they were the greenest people you could possibly imagine. So
Yeah.
Okay, so question 36.
Yeah.
You said what we were saying, question 35, wasn't
Yes, that's good. So question 37 is interesting.
I haven't got a clue. I haven't got enough insight into
Yeah,
demand.
exactly. This is how do you measure demand?
Ah. It's a transient demand. Sorry.
Yes.
But some people say, why do we provide sites for them at a cheap rate?
They do. Seems to me they do travel around in bigger groups.
We'd like to think that such a site, if it's occasional use, could be used for other purposes when not in use as a traveller's.
Yes, assuming only John's Romanies are using it, the sites will have cleaned
I was gonna say,
just
yeah.
the experience of.
Normally it takes a year to.
There's different categories of sites. They don't all have to be semi-permanent or regular large sites.
I don't know what,
5 pitches isn't very much. About what you get in Weymouth. or
I haven't got the insight, only other than I wouldn't, just that in East Oxford got no view.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's 5 sounds a lot, 5 and 500, but is it?
no idea, I mean,
That's what I mean, yeah.
They won't all get used for them.
There aren't that many development sites in Dorset which have more than 500 that have 500 homes. The little more urban extension does.
Comment saying, yes, if this is proportionate to actual numbers of travellers. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
question 38.
That doesn't mention local views and local impact. You have to take regard to what neighbours say,
Yeah.
even if you know pretty much what they're going to say.
To take regard to what neighbours say.
Section 13.
Oopsie.
What's it saying?
Special area. So it's an area where they where they enhance the biodiversity, a site of nature growth or something. I can't quite remember the full initials. And the point is that these are being funded by the government, so long as they're associated with heathland mitigation. And therefore, we're only getting SANGs around the heathland areas. Whereas actually there's a need for sites of nature growth in urban developments as well. Because once you lose your green bit, the bit that you have needs to be better.
Sorry, what were hips?
Hips are, oh God.
Heathland improvement.
Yes. So
Heathland
Improvement, yeah.
I couldn't work it, I couldn't find it anywhere.
No, it took me about 5 minutes. It wasn't obvious.
No,
Sounds well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're on.
I've got this.
And that, Snapwick is from
Chapwick.
Shapwick, is it?
Chapwick.
I don't know why this has come in.
No, it just seems
It
very
seems an
possible.
irrelevancy, given that it's a private landowner who's principally affected, who has enabled the National Trust to operate some of his estate. But it's still a private landowner in my book. So, yeah. So the map was that this is all based upon was produced about 2-3 years ago. It was based upon the previous government's assessment of solar of green energy. One of the first things the new government did was change the premise for solar panels. So one could argue that the whole map needs revisited. I've just made some comments about. If you look at it, there's very little where they're saying there could be green energy in Weymouth on the ground. Whereas we know there's still quite a lot of open space and there's quite a lot of wind.
Just to add that recent experience of one of our neighbours, Chickle, is that the public are very anti-battery energy storage when they're close to housing estates. So it's got to be a matter of right green energy development, storage or generation has to be in the right place.
It's very difficult because the
Yes, I know.
the national grid.
Yeah.
Put their points of access to the grid next to settlements.
Yeah.
And energy storage needs to be next to those grid points, so it's
I'm
very
hoping
difficult.
that the bottom's falling over that market anyway, so they will have.
I think they could be a little bit stronger on commercial roofs. We just had the M&S development with a tiny solar. It's got solar panels, but it's a very small area of the roof. It could have been the entire roof.
Yeah.
And all the other buildings on that retail park. So it should say all commercial.
That-
So why
buildings,
don't you say all commercial
entirely-
buildings should contribute solar energy to the grid? Or local community energy schemes?
Is it feasible, Wayne?
Yes,
But
Yeah,
then,
because they've got a huge amount of roof.
They're all
Yeah,
massive
But
roofs.
that wouldn't
can they
necessarily.
plug it into the grid? Because you've had solar farms refused.
Yeah.
Well, no, said, yes, you can go ahead, and then nothing's happened because they can't plug into the grid.
They can trickle feed it
They
in,
can tree and
and the
they
same
can
way
have
that the
three.
domestic user, you feed it in.
So what would you suggesting that we add in? All commercial buildings should contribute.
Solar power
Or
To
the
the
green
grid.
energy, or don't have to be solar, so
Yeah.
green energy generation,
to the
national grid.
national grid.
If you can't plug it in the centre of Weymouth, we're doomed.
yeah,
Yeah, good point.
Okay, got that, Nikki?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll move on.
We've got 10. I'm 42, we're not only a few questions off.
Yeah,
And
keep
then we've
going.
got to go through the sites.
Yeah. Um,
That's this one for Dorchester sort out.
Yeah.
but again, if Dorchester gets refused, it puts more housing pressure onto Weymouth.
yeah, that's why I'm very much.
And it maintains what currently is a huge number of people, 40% of people who are in employment, who live in Weymouth, commute out of Weymouth for their employment.
Yeah, that's the Dorchester are very good at, seem to be very effective at putting forward campaigns, but if they succeed, it just means more in Preston and it means more in Chickle. Just displaces it to the wrong side of the Ridgeway.
So
And they've moved all the jobs north of the, I mean, County Hall's come out there, and the main hospital's moved up there, that's where the jobs are.
So that was the comment in the previous question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was just a detail, really.
Yeah, keep going with you. Pigeon House Farm name.
Does anybody know where it is?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, look it up. Very helpful.
Where is it?
Five pigeon house farms all over the country.
oh, right, okay, so you didn't find out that.
So I found the valley in the end.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Right, so that's the main document done. I think we probably, I'm not gonna read out every
No, no,
amendment
no.
that we've made, but I think we do. But sorry, but I think we need to take a vote, but
yeah. But we're happy with all the amendments that have been made.
yeah, so.
Yeah?
Yeah, if we do.
So it's
propose.
proposed by councillor Clifford, seconded by myself. All those in favour of, yeah, that's unanimous.
Marvellous. Okay, let's close that one down. Let me do.
So Jane put this slide at the front. It may be better to go through the other slides and come back to this.
Oh, the individual sites.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, south of Beverley Road is the first one. Okay, let's see if I can. Oh.
So the main bit which isn't discussed is the topography of the hillside.
Yeah.
And the lack of road access to it, particularly you have to work your way up through the estate.
Do we agree with recommended approach remove from local plan as unsuitable?
And then those become the grounds for
Yeah.
it being unsuitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move on.
That's 17. things. So West Haven Hospital site has vacant buildings, so it's a brownfield site which has potential for being redeveloped. However, it's also an important site for local hospital needs and medical research.
This is one of them where, who put it in there, David? I mean, I can't see the NHS saying, oh yeah, we will sell our land. They probably don't even own it.
I think it's Dorset Council who own the land. I'm not certain. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's in there. What's our comment?
Our comment is retain as specialist hospital medical use. Yeah,
Is that a suitable phrase, John?
yeah,
Yeah, it's really useful rehab.
Yeah.
ward,
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Okay.
moving on. East of,
So if you go down, if you come off Dorchester Road and go down Noddington Lane, on your left, you've got 340 homes being built by CG Fry. On your right, you've got a small exclusive development, I call it Two Jacks Road. And then beyond that, there's a field that runs down to the hairpin bend. The hairpin bend is where Deutzia Cottage is, and those two fields on the right could be developed for 50 homes.
a flood zone.
Yes, it is. This is very wet. I think we could surface water, localised flooding, ground under.
I say-
My wife used to keep a horse on it. She can tell you that
we
even the horses couldn't cope.
walked up there, David.
We looked over the fence possibly.
Yeah, yeah.
At it.
It's got the old water courses there in the winter then.
No, it's not the water meadows, but
Slightly higher.
but the northern boundary is a line of trees through which one of the overflow to
Yes.
the river runs.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dry in the summer, but in the winter it's got nothing.
So
It says 50% affordable homes. Would we be putting people out there if they haven't got cars? How would they get about?
it's the same as 340 homes opposite where it's just got 35% affordable homes. It's right next to the best bus route in the whole of Dorset, the number 2 and the number 10. That's not a concern. Access to Nottington Lane is a problem because it's already got lots of junctions coming onto it. It's already a bit of a rat run. It's got a 20-mile-an-hour zone already, but okay.
It's only the
So I
number
was in
10.
two minds about this.
It's only the number 10 up there, isn't it?
No, 2 and 10 go past.
2 goes up the bypass.
No. 2 goes up Dorchester, 2 goes up Dorchester Road, past my house, and all the way up to Littlemore Road. Nottington Road is to the left, as you
I thought that was further up.
opposite the school.
No, okay.
This is opposite the school to
Okay.
So from a planning constraints point of view, it's actually got a lot of infrastructure and facilities in the area.
Do we agree with the recommended approach, guys?
Well, if you're saying it's well connected, why do we need to conduct a transport system?
Because it's the road access at Nottington Lane, which is already constrained. And Dorset Council are recognising that themselves. So this isn't saying it will happen, this is saying, shall we take, Dorset Council are saying, shall we take this to the next stage where they'll do more assessment of it? And they may well decide that that transport access is a reason for ruling it out. So it's a way for us to point Dorset Council to make sure they do it. And the other thing is, if you're gonna develop it, why not move on, push the number of affordable homes, like the Weymouth Neighbourhood Plan says.
Move on.
Okay, happy with that?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's short for white collar for farm.
yeah. There we go. Well, we agree with that, remove from the local plan.
Do you agree with the next bit?
What, the next slide?
No, the next
Okay.
statement at the bottom.
Set NP allocation.
So if you look at paragraph I, this is my statement, it's taken from the neighbourhood plan. The site is suitable for development, but not on this scale. It's W20 policy in the Weymouth Neighbourhood Plan, which is 230 homes, plus transfer of 23 hectares of space to transfer of land to public open space, securing the open cap and wildlife corridor. If you went for the full 550 homes, it just fills in all the area between Littlemore and Preston,
Which then become one.
one very small. So
Yeah, I'm happy
it's
with that.
definitely not acceptable to do the whole site, is whether you agree that it's sensible to do some of this.
Example of where the Weymouth plan is better than the Dorset plan, because it protects that green corridor
You and I would definitely say
Between-
that, John.
between Littlemore and Preston.
We'd hope that local plan would be better than an overarching.
The Luton neighbourhood
Yeah,
plan would
anyway,
be more
so, yeah.
focused, yes.
Personally, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah,
Crack on.
move on.
Yeah, move on.
So this land is immediately to the south of the last bit. And
Isn't that deemed to be totally unsuitable? And you took it out.
we took it out because doing both developments we felt was too much against the housing need target that we've been given. The housing target has now increased by the government. You might still wish to put a comment in saying that the two sites going forward may be too much demand in the area. That's the sort of comment that can be added if that's what you feel.
Well, I think that as it's been taken out of the neighbourhood plan, it shouldn't be in the local plan at all.
No,
Yeah, I don't know what everybody else thinks.
I think it's
Weymouth.
far too much development in a very small area.
And let's big up the fact that 18 months of local effort and debate is centred on this area, and the view is I'd much rather go with our local view than the technical assumption that here's some space, here's some housing fit in that. Whether you agree with it or not, and I think the fact is nobody would deny the effort and the local knowledge that went into this, and I'm much happier with the way we're planning this area.
Okay, so what are we gonna change on here then?
We'll ask this to be removed from the plan.
Recommended approach, remove. From local plan,
And you
But
can still
reference,
type
reference to the
in,
previous slide, because the two things are,
sorry,
we must link the two sides together. Supportable one and not the other, as decided, but as
yeah, decided, as recommended.
recommended in the Wayne Flood plan, Wayne Flavour plan.
And there's a word check left in there that needs taking out,
no,
and
look, where are we to?
so. We just need to check whether the Weymouth neighbourhood plan says 230 or 225.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
so remove. The word
Check.
check
And check 225,
from
which is a lot different.
I.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
This area is my town council ward. And I've looked into it a little bit more. It's on the map if anybody wants to look it up, if they're not certain where Iceland Lane is. It's the main access to it at the moment is under the rail, go down station, off Dorchester Road, you go down Old Station Road. It then, when you go under the bridge, it becomes Iceland Lane. If you go further up Dorchester Road, you can turn up Shortlands Road and you get to the end of Shortland Road, there's another bridge and you can walk up to the top end of this, but it's not a road, it's a path. And then if you go up even further, you can get to Chapel Lane and go under the bridge, and there was a road that goes across, and again, it's not a very big road. So in the actual write-up by Dorset Council, it mentions the potential for access from Nightingale Drive, which is in the estate on the new estate in Burberlands. It's part in Littlemore and part in up Way of Broadway now. So that probably needs access, will require improvement, and it might be worth adding Nightingale Road, not suitable for large traffic movements.
those roads are-
Not suitable for large traffic
I would
movements.
say road bad enough as it is, it's
Yeah.
the road upside of the vets, isn't it?
So the total of homes is 159. I can't add up there, 149, by the way. Could you change 159 to 149? The important bit that I'd like to add is that we've talked about community land trust. So there is a community land trust which is in negotiation for the smaller of the two sites. There are two sites, the smaller site. This is Bishop of Salisbury land, and the land trust are in negotiation for an all affordable homes development. And that being an all affordable homes development wouldn't necessarily carry the same sort of traffic demands as a full market led estate. So that's why I've advocated reducing the number, just developing the smaller site on the basis that it says there.
Yeah, I'd like to agree with David on that one. I've heard that community land trust trying to develop, proper social housing.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have 2 BMWs per house.
Or even 2 Jags.
Yeah, it'll be a, for people that really need housing. So I'd be quite keen on that smaller community land trust.
The only thing I would add there, they might not have 2 BMWs, but they might well have vans and work vehicles and.
So what's required is that Dorset Council have recognised that transport is the biggest issue for this development, and they will need to produce a transport plan and justify that not only is the site available, which the church say it is, but it's deliverable, which means that they can overcome these issues. And lastly, that it's viable, which means that there's enough money in it for the church commissioners who want to make money out of this site for them to be happy. Okay,
Did you
now
want
they
to-
may not want to make as much money as the wall developer, but we just hope for that really.
I was just gonna say, the access, I don't know how they can access that.
Well, you can access it at the moment because there are houses already down the road.
Yeah,
And you could develop a small access from Nightingale Drive as well. But the large traffic flow going around Nightingale Drive would not necessarily be appropriate. All of it's going to be difficult and it may not go forward for that reason.
Don't suggest that we agree the recommended approach, but put a caveat on there saying subject to suitable transport. Issues being resolved or something like that, which is sort of in there already, but it emphasises.
Subject to,
Suitable transport. The right phrase.
That's a lot of that, yeah. Very funny. So, I think we get in and out.
I mean, because we all want community land trust.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, great idea.
it's a pity they didn't put a spur road off the relief road or another road off the roundabout when they did
So
the
is-
roundabout.
so where am I slotting this bit in?
Right at the top
Under the recommendation.
Subject to suitable transport.
Yeah.
Plan, did you say?
Some suitable transport assessment and plan.
Okay.
Moving on. Redlands,
Redlands.
this is your area again, David?
Oh, God, there's 5 in my area and quite a number in Preston as well. There we are. So again, the summary is that it's the same bit of land as in the neighbourhood plan. In the neighbourhood plan, you also get to hand over some land leading down to the Way Valley. And you ask for 50% affordable homes. So why would you want the local plan version of it rather than the neighbourhood plan version of it?
So remove from the local plan, but support as part of the neighbourhood plan allocation with its benefit. Yep. Yep.
Agree with that?
Yeah, do you agree with that? Yeah. Push, make back and close.
Here's a challenge for you. I had to look it up. It's in Wyke.
Okay.
It's a small site supported homes. It's like a bit of keep of the existing development.
Ballina is.
Yeah.
Has this come up before with us, David? Have we refused this?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because it's,
Do you want to look on the map? The map is a good pointer if you want to have a quick look. Actually, last trip across to you actually. There you go. Yeah. So,
Yes.
yes, this bit. So,
Just out of my fat badger.
here's the caravan.
Yeah, you know it now. So reference the pub.
Yeah, that's funny how that jobs the bills.
So it's possible. You know. Well, there was complaints about building up on the coastline. So there are other ones. To the west of the other sites that have previously come up. So.
Agree with the Weymouth neighbourhood plan version.
yeah,
Yeah, happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this something for Chickle?
This is, let me just go to the map. This is actually in half, some of it's in Chickerell and some of
Say
it's
it like that.
it straddles the boundary. And,
I'll allow you to talk on the Weymouth bit. I'll allow you to talk only on the Weymouth bit.
okay, so on the bit nearest the road, that's the Weymouth bit, okay? I think that's right, they didn't publish that. It completely fills the open gap between the Lane House development and the Wyke development. It is an important wildlife corridor, And previously to the west of that site, other applications have been turned down for
This
that
is what
reason.
I was,
To the west of this site,
yeah,
though, this is the roadmost site.
yeah,
And of course, the land to the right of it is where the Curtis Field development is, but it's where the gap in the Curtis Field development is, so it would be quite sensible in that respect. But there's the recommendation
Remove
from the local plan.
local plan is completely.
I thought that had gone to court and been lost.
yeah, that's the one I was,
Yeah.
Again, item A, I, like Peter said, hasn't it already been done? And I rang up the applicant who had made the previous application, it was for affordable homes.
yeah.
And he said, no, it's to the west of, my bit was to the west of this particular site.
Yeah.
And didn't go all the way across the gap.
It's just filling in. So I agree with the,
Your other approach is to say that a smaller development should take place.
No,
I think what you've got there is,
yeah, and we've talked about Settlement Creek already.
yeah,
I mean,
this is another version.
this must be the very last bit of land,
yeah,
but Chickerell can say is a barrier.
yeah. Well,
Next.
yeah, next one,
Apart from the
land at Weymouth Golf Course. There's nothing in there about the, yeah, taking away leisure.
yeah, can we just stop it after LP? The recommendation.
Move from LP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Amended approach.
Remove from.
Well, certainly take out the last sentence.
yeah,
The fact that it's already in community use, or do you not agree it's in community use?
It's.
No, I'm fine, it's just, let's be quite firm.
Yeah.
Just remove
See
from,
this one.
Yeah.
You have to give reasons,
Yeah.
just not liking it doesn't.
Um,
Fails to meet,
Why
national
not?
planning framework
Yeah.
policy.
It's a stupid idea.
fails to meet MPPF, did you want to say?
Yeah.
So it takes off quite a number of things.
Yeah,
So the main one is B.
Yeah.
There's, as in terms of the potential development, it's quite attractive in other respects.
Oh, yeah.
And Dorset Council owns part of the land and was trying to get an employment use there, possibly a garage, but had no takers.
so D and it's also F, isn't it? Amenity, health and.
Right, moving on.
Leisure doesn't appear. in
yeah,
this.
so we're literally just saying remove from local plan, fails to meet MPPF.
Right,
Yeah.
so you could also add to F, an important leisure facility.
F,
Amenity, health and education.
Yeah.
important leisure facility.
Be enough left if they keep building like this.
Well, so So as you go up Dorchester Road and you get to the Dorset Vehicle Hire site.
Yeah,
That Dorset Vehicle Hire site is part of the planned boundary. One might assume therefore that it acts as the access from Dorchester Road, because there is no access from Dorchester Road to this site otherwise. Okay, so that's why the Dorset Vehicle Rental site is part of the boundary. It is already developed farmland. It's visually attractive space and accessible by public right of way. It's within the Upwey Conservation Area, it's subject to surface water flooding. There are limited amenities within walking distance. So although it's in Weymouth and Upwey and Broadway, Upwey and Broadway hasn't got many amenities. It relies on its bus service for many things. So, landlocked site with no adjacent roads, access via Dorset Vehicle Rental isn't specifically mentioned, but. So I would say remove for those reasons. It's also. In the Weymouth neighbourhood plan, there will be a green gap mentioned. And that is a reasonable objection, because Weymouth neighbourhood plan carries some weight at this stage.
Support recommendation.
Yep.
Right,
No, this-
south of Preston Road. So this is as you come into Preston on your left hand side. No, it's not. It's the one near Four Hill Close and something close,
Yeah,
Maple.
So it's of the Maple.
Close.
Maple Close.
it's where Haven want to put 200 caravans.
Yeah,
And then they're not gonna give up that land.
so you could be confident that they will stick with that statement and make no comment. Because if the landowner doesn't put it forward, then it gets taken off the list. For it to go forward, the landowner has to agree that
Yeah.
it should go forward.
It's certainly they have expressed no desire to sell it.
It's again, what we said earlier about the battery, looking at the coast, you can have more houses up there, so.
It's on the other side of
Yeah.
the hill.
It's getting, it's a slope up.
Yeah, but as you come down and look across landscape, it's gonna be,
So, you know, you could argue that the whole of the land to the north should never have happened, Peter. Because it's certainly visible from a long distance.
Yeah.
That's history. Brunel Drive and Co, which I think was mentioned earlier. So what's your, there's a need for suitable access, and the transport plan and assessment has been identified as being required, so it's an important consideration. It does have impact on the Dorset National Landscape to the north, and it is close to the coastal triple SRA.
Yeah. well, I'm for removal from the local plan.
I'll go with that.
It's not in the neighbourhood plan, is it?
It's not a site mentioned in the neighbourhood plan.
What was did we actually get to a planning application for the caravans there?
Yeah, yeah.
And what was our position? Cause it should be the same. Hopefully it was,
We objected,
we did, yes, I remember it now, we
we
did.
objected, being too close, especially the one part,
Yeah.
F, I think it was.
Right at the very end.
Yeah, right at the very end, where it was in the middle, where the caravans already are.
Yeah.
They wanted to put more in there, so
So-
we
So I think
objected.
that's a consistent approach,
Okay, yeah.
to develop on this development in this
So-
side.
Yes.
So what I would suggest as an outsider to your committee is that there is going to be an expectation that Weymouth meets a significant part of the housing demand. We can demonstrate in many areas that that's not sensible. What might be worth considering on this site is whether a smaller area should go for. So if you aligned it to the existing settlement lines, you could reduce the site somewhat.
I'm just against any more further development up there. Where's the access to this site?
It would be from the two closest that you mentioned.
Was it Phil?
Four Hill.
Four Hill Close, Elm, through there, which. No,
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 Why wasn't it in the neighbourhood plan?
The neighbourhood plan relied upon landowners putting forward their sites as opportunity sites. It also considered sites which are already in the SHLA, which is the Strategic Housing Land Availability Assessment, and this site is not in the SHLA either. So we did not consider this as a site.
also the flooding that goes on there. And the thing to the River Jordan.
Something you might want to mention is that if the Weymouth neighbourhood plan proceeds, then the local green space between Four Hill Close and whatever the other close is called is created,
Yeah.
which will limit the access to the site.
So space between,
I need to look up the roads, but come to me later. Yeah. or unless Peter can remember, Four Hill Close and Maple Close. I think.
Maple Close, you go up Cedar Drive, make it awful.
But it's Four Hill Close and Maple Close, it's where the green.
It's where our pass is. We own a little bit of that land.
So effectively,
Personally,
Eh?
you personally.
No, when the town council, we own that little bit of
Reducing
land.
access.
Weymouth neighbourhood plan,
Mhm.
in this case, gives us an extra reason.
Yes.
Which is we're creating a green area, so I think
So,
that's.
and you're saying that would reduce the access to,
Potentially reduce the access to the site.
Yeah.
The.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that just an add-on?
That goes in under, you would put it in under G.
But I would like to see it removed from local plan.
Yeah.
For the reasons given.
Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Remove from LP. And the reasons were,
For the reasons above.
okay.
Yeah.
Referring to the
Hang
neighbourhood
on.
plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Hang on.
Moving on.
We'll come back, let's just
Yeah,
move on.
yeah, moving. Land north of Bowley's Cove Way. All development up that area was stopped because of landslip.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to rewind the clock, I do apologise. The land north of Bowley's Cove Way is the site we've just been discussing. It mentions Maple and Four Hill Close, yeah, and the land south of Preston is a bit further out of Weymouth,
Is that the one
Oh,
very
no,
bright?
okay.
which is what I started talking about, and then there you go, Peter.
Yeah,
So that's land south of Preston Road.
Yeah.
And this is land north of Bowley's Cove.
yeah.
Okay,
The lands, as you drive down into Weymouth and you go past Seaview, it's those fields there.
so
All right.
I think we
Yeah.
should revisit that one, but let's finish this one because we've just been talking about it.
Yeah.
So which one are we now, right, so we're now on the Bowleys,
Yeah.
and that's the one where we refer to Maple Close and Four Hill and reducing access.
So that's already in here, which is why I was having a little, didn't I write that down already? So
Okay.
there you go.
Right,
And
so-
it's remove.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So we just cut and paste.
So land
previous comments
south
onto
of
that one.
Preston Road,
Yeah.
one, okay.
Well, I think they're already there.
LA. So what are we saying about the land south of Preston Road? If,
So we go back to the.
Go back to that one.
Because we were talking about the wrong side, so we need
Get
to
out.
revisit it.
hang on, I might need to come out of.
So it's worth. So this is next to the. other
Seaview.
Oh, the Seaview Holiday Park, and the land extends. Before you get into Weymouth, it extends to the south, and it goes all the way up to the Waterside Holiday Park. So it's a huge development that I think is too large, but. You could consider just in the top bit.
Yeah, that's right.
in the
As you come
northernmost
down the
bit.
hill. It's there. That area there, so when you're looking across. Wherever you go, it's gonna be full of houses, and
Let's see if I
at
can.
the moment, you don't see Waterside, do you?
No, it's just, well, you're on high, it's in a spot, you get that one moment, but.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's slow. So,
It's like it's really.
hang on.
Yeah, that's the one where, yeah, no, and you come in up,
Yeah.
there's Four Hill. There's our little, that's what we own, that little, it's a tiny little park.
There you go. Sorry,
So that bit there,
That's possibly feasible, off the bit, but nothing. What's it on?
17.
Oh, I see, right, this is the one that should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. yes, and that was the logic for it.
Yeah.
Extending along the existing housing settlement line makes some sense, even though it's a holiday park. But the bit to the rest is
Yeah.
too near
Yeah.
the AONB. and the World Heritage Site.
So what are we saying about this one then?
Some should be aligned with existing sites. Size, part of the proposed should be treated as a central site. So.
Well, if you can get the land.
Yeah.
What's everybody's thoughts?
Well, sorry, if the Dorset Council doesn't proceed with changing the settlement boundary, then it would be treated as an exception site because it's outside the defined development boundary. And it would only come forward under those circumstances. So that's the reason for not voting for the flexible settlement policy, if you like. But reducing it to that size, it might become more attractive to the developer to work with Homes England or somebody to deliver, because I do believe that Homes England are going to get more funding out of this government, otherwise there's not much chance that the government will meet its housing ambitions.
So do we want to follow the recommendation, but actually emphasise the northernmost part of the site? Leaving the southernmost part of the site untouched.
Everybody happy with that?
Greenfield, stroke, nature.
Right, moving on, Nikki.
So that's the one we've just
Done. We've done that.
just.
Yeah, possibly at the end.
That is the.
I'm just trying to write down policy numbers, just so.
That is it.
So you could go back to the first slide, which was a summary, and just update the first slide if you wish. Or you could leave that to the secretary to the meeting.
We've got all the notes.
Yeah.
Got it all in the notes, I'm happy to.
You
do.
might,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're happy for you to do it.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, so I think possibly we should propose a seconder and then just agree what we've
Agreed.
agreed.
So. Councillor O'Rourke will propose, seconded by Councillor Clifford. All those in favour of what we've discussed, I have response to.
You don't get excited, we've got the local transport plan.
Are you going through that as well?
Well,
Oh, I can't give you much help on that.
we
I
can,
haven't had time to look at it.
as it,
He said,
it's completely up to the committee.
Yeah.
I think the committee can probably decide that we go through it now and I fill it in as we go. Or that members may wish to submit individual responses.
It is shorter and it's probably just not a map.
it's going to take to 10 o'clock.
Not only is there. I've just mentioned on the local plan, there were other sections, so there is a whole section on Travellers site, a whole section of questions on employment sites. And green energy sites, we only looked at the summary questions in the main document. Okay, just mention that. Thank you very much.
No, thank you, David.
Thank you for
No,
illuminating the way. I said, thank you for illuminating the way.
Well, it's things that we'd already looked at because they occurred in the neighbourhood plan.
so what was the committee like to do about the transport plan?
I'd like to do my own, but I'm happy decided to sit here and go through it. With everyone, if that's.
It's up to what.
Oh, I was just gonna say, should we just go through it?
I don't know how long it is because it wouldn't let me move on to the next section until I've populated.
It might be worth looking at the index and jumping to the bits you're interested in. And also look at the maps which show where they're going to do something interesting.
Has anyone looked at the transport plan?
Yeah.
Previous to this?
I don't know, okay, a lot of it seems to be just verbal sentiments.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is a joint plan with
There
BCP.
you go.
And if I were making a comment, I might comment that most of it seems to be about that area.
So which one do we want to start with? Should we start with the strategy summary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Start at the top, work down.
That's a lot of sections there.
Good night.
Good night, David, thank you.
So, aspiration. A lot of the document is.
Yeah, always touch the good stuff.
Skip through.
Okay.
So what the nap applies it, well,
Yeah, we've got all the vision and
Don't want the vision, okay.
strategic.
Are they delivering?
Okay. You go it then, okay. Alright. Don't know how many policies they've got there.
Well, that's some, you know, trying to go all the way up to 2041.
So reduce transport carbon emissions, accelerate the uptake of zero emission vehicles.
it's.
Tree delivery.
It's, yeah,
We need some meat,
Need some meat.
and then need to get to the bottom of the actual proposals.
Mm,
A lot of it was saying, they're saying great things.
okay. Funding.
So, Nick, go back to the top then.
our planning.
Yeah, keep going up, bigger. See that link saying complete the survey?
Should we just go straight for that?
Yeah.
Go straight with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Well spotted.
Let's see.
Well done.
Local transport.
It says link there for the survey. No, right, okay. Oh, stunning. No, something not to, isn't there? No, page 21.
This is all the plans again.
Hello. Okay, so there's 11 sections to this. Right. So,
It's asking for individual,
now, just hang on.
yeah?
So you can respond as an organisation or group, but we're gonna have to, but we've still got to, I reckon we've still got to, yeah, required. So we live in the Dorset Council area.
Yeah. And we work at Slippery and Scatter.
Stay with that.
Parish or town council as member, is organisation then, rather than member. Other way, but town council.
Please tell us the name of your organisation or group, so I'm gonna have to. Okay, here we go. No, see what I mean?
I agree.
Well, it's all just nice things like having decent railways, having decent buses, reducing your
Yeah.
emissions, it's all sensible things.
Okay.
It's whether it's achievable is the question.
We agree?
Yeah. The vision's great, but what are you gonna do?
Oh, yeah, so I'm not gonna do each individual one. Right, can I recommend that we save it and do it individually? That's gonna take forever.
Yeah.
So we're gonna agree that the committee's gonna, members of the committee, okay,
They're gonna submit their own.
Every single objective.
members of committee. To submit,
Proposed by councillor Taylor, seconded by councillor Dickens. All those in favour? And that's been voted through.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Potential sponsors. Okay, let's just close that down.
Because my biggest response was, you know, disabled people, people in partial sight, they get a free bus pass, but they can't use it till after 9:30.
Yeah.
So what if their job that they've got starts at 8 o'clock? And to me, it penalises them. So that's the one thing I'm going to be putting in. That just on that, but I think any transport relies on the funding you get from government.
Yes, yeah.
And how can you have a plan? Yeah, we all have aspirations to want the best for everybody. But unless you get the funding, and Dorset Council ain't gonna get the funding.
That was my point again and again for every single point, that great aspirations for getting people on trains and buses, but we can't fund it. It's gotta be,
Yeah,
we get
Oh,
screwed.
Where's my
by the
connection
funding.
gone? Come on, come back.
You still got this, haven't we?
Hang on. There we go. Right, so we have got a CLE application.
Well, house.
Yeah, so it's not a planning application. They're asking whether or not we have any evidence that the development has
yeah.
existed or not existed
For
for 4 or 10 years.
Anybody have any information on this?
None.
So that's, if we haven't got anything, we
We
haven't
haven't got
got
anything. No, I don't know anything about it. Ron Wellhouse Hotel.
Okay,
I do, but I'm conflicted.
We can now come on to item 12, which is traffic calming and parking restriction requests from the public. Request for yellow lines.
this is Mr.
Lambourne.
Yeah.
Yes,
I did invite him along if he wanted, but. I see. It is an absolute nightmare, you can see by that white car. So if you're coming along, say from Littlemore Road, coming down Dorchester Road towards Way Valley. If you want to turn up there, so you turn in, but then if there's cars coming down,
Have nowhere to go.
there's nowhere to go, so
Yeah.
there's in a blockage, and actually. That doesn't even evidence some of the worst parking that I've seen on there, I've seen them actually practically onto Dorchester Road.
You know, I used to go up there to go to Lawton Meadows.
Yeah,
And it's a nightmare up
Yeah.
there, absolute
and
nightmare.
of course you've got all the, well, they're not new houses anymore, but you've got all the,
Yeah, there's a whole new estate they built there
Yeah.
as well. That should be red, yellow lines all the way up.
I'm not quite sure the cars that are parked there, I don't really quite understand who they belong to.
They'd be picking kids up from.
No, because they're there all the time, they were there when I drove down tonight.
Because one of the biggest things is, do you move it from that area to this area? You know, but I mean, I always thought it's illegal to park.
so this is gonna be the issue. The committee can support the request going up to Dorset Council, but I'm pretty certain that they're gonna come back to me and say that. Parking on a Bell Junction is an offence and it's a police matter.
Yeah,
But we've got to support it.
But we can.
Yeah,
support
do
it.
both. Do both. Push it on, we
Yeah.
accept it. And that the evidence will then come back and we'll throw it to the police and say,
Yeah.
can you do something and enforce it?
So the recommendation is that we support the application and send it on to Dorset Council.
Yeah.
Beverly will propose,
yeah,
seconded by councillor Dickens. All those in favour? We come now to Ditley Experimental.
So this is,
Item 13 now we're on, aren't we?
yeah, so this is basically in the Western Road area by the new Primark.
No, I don't know whether anybody's noticed, but they've already sort of put double yellow chevrons on the curb. So you cannot now park as a disabled person opposite the new Primark.
No loading
Yeah,
piles on the curbs.
yeah. So they brought it in. Does anybody want to,
So
have any
I've had-
comments on it?
I've had a complaint from a disabled lady just outside Weymouth.
Yeah,
About the loss of disabled parking and access. Particularly for people who can't walk very far at all, so
Yeah.
people can be disabled and have a badge, still be able to walk reasonable distance, this lady can't. So I'll just say, just reflect her story, which is that she now finds that she can't get to Weymouth at all to go to the end of town that she used to go to.
And on the neighbourhood side, there's regularly people complaining about not being able to park there anymore. So there's quite a lot of, but it's affecting a lot of people.
So I would normally not have huge problems with experimental traffic orders, as it was saying, you're trying something and you'll see how it goes. But if you're going to take something away, particularly for disabled people, disabled drivers, I'd like to see you create something somewhere else to enable them to carry on with their normal shopping lives.
Comment on that one. When they were working out the scheme, there were notions of making an area on Western Bridge, which is currently general parking into disabled parking, and also the kind of little used taxi rank which runs from the statue down towards the pavilion, which is hardly ever used. It's a really long taxi rank, making half of that disabled as well. So if they'd done that
from the King statue,
towards the pavilion, there's a really,
yeah,
it's really
in that
long
old
rank.
taxi rank.
It's hardly used.
Well, because all the nightclubs are shut.
Yeah, so that, well, certainly in the daytime, that could be
Yeah.
half disabled, and it wouldn't affect the taxis because they're not there.
Yeah.
So if they did that, that would replace what's lost.
Yes, but they haven't.
They haven't unless they should.
Yeah.
So that could.
But there are people who find it, that would even be too far.
Well, that'd be closer to town,
No, that is the closest, well, yes, pretty much the closest, but
and it's, the other thing is that it wasn't a disabled parking bay, it was a double yellow line.
yeah,
Which disabled
you
people
can
have.
park on if it's got.
And unfortunately, some don't park very well, and they were obstructing the buses.
Mm.
So they didn't do something on that road because it's just a bit chaotic, and they increased footfall up and down with Primark. I can see they have to do something, but I think they should have done those two.
So should we send that up as a,
If you can put the two ameliorations, making some of the parking an equivalent amount of parking, so there's no loss of disabled parking. If they make
Yeah.
some of Western Bridge nearest the town available and half the taxi rank on the Esplanade available for disabled parking, then there's no
Yeah.
loss of parking.
so how would you describe it up on the Esplanade? Just
Taxi rank on the Esplanade leading to
just past these, the pedestrian crossing?
opposite
Yeah.
opposite the Criterion.
Well, the Criterion doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Well,
Marks and
what used to
Spencer's.
be the site of the Criterion.
Yeah.
Black Dog, wherever reference you want, the blue Cafe Blue.
Yeah,
Cafe Blue, yeah, that's still
So
there.
you want that sent up to DC?
yeah.
Okay, can we have a quick vote on that, please, because it will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
a fair line.
So it's proposed by councillor Rell, seconded by councillor Clifford. All those in favour? That's,
Can we just add the comment that if you're going to take something away from disabled drivers, you have to provide some alternative, and had they done that in the first place, we'd be supportive of the experimental order. But they haven't, and so we're not.
are you happy with that?
That's fine. Yeah,
Everybody happy with that to go on?
thank you.
Item 14. Which are information items. Anybody got anything they wish to say on that? Nobody's got anything to say. The neighbourhood planning update, have you got anything? John? No. Well, if everybody's happy, I knew it's gone, we we're gonna have a long one tonight. But thank you all for your involvement. And we'll call the meeting closed.
Thank you. Let me just